A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Astor from his Edwards.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace. Boom.
All right. I am Graham.
And I am Braden.
And I am your father.
Yes, you are.
How you doing today, son?
I am good. Ready for this topic. It's a fun one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. So we've got a special episode this week. We are going to be doing a year-to-date in review. We're a little over halfway through the year. We've got a lot of content we've covered since we kicked off this podcast. And right now we're just going to take a little moment, a post-Superman, pre-Fantastic Four moment to run through where we're at. Where do we stand for the year? And and maybe at the end we'll decide whether or not we think 2025 thus far has been good or not.
And mind you,
this
isn't going to be like a pre-Oscars. It's just
our
general opinions on the movies and shows that have come out so far.
Yeah.
No award buzz.
Yeah, and we are also going to push this theme through our 10 and 20 as well. So we're going to run through 10 topics, but they're all going to be about this year and what's happened so far. Also, one more piece. Braden is going to be really kind of taking his lead on films and movies in each of our categories, and I'm going to be looking at television shows. So we'll both comment on each other's ideas, but that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Super good.
All right. If you've gotten this far already and you've listened to any of our episodes in the past, you should like, subscribe, share, all those things, right? All the things. Yeah, all the things. We're working hard on this, but so we're hoping that you're enjoying it. All right, should we jump into the 10 and 20?
Let's do it.
All right, and I need to set our timer. I am ready to go. Topic number one, we're going to do a subject here. Sleeper success of 2025. What caught you off guard that you really, really like, Braden, in the film?
Definitely my most unexpected film this year has to be Warfare. And we'll touch on it a little later in terms of where it ranks overall in my full year. But I'm not the biggest on war movies in general. I can enjoy them. I'm never just going to turn them on. I don't get super excited to go see the new, 5 war movies that come out each year. It's just really not for me. But this one came out, I was hearing good things about it, and I decided to go watch it by myself. I went and watched it in the theater completely alone. There were only a few other people in the whole theater, and I was just blown away. I could not believe how engaged I was in this movie from the opening scene on. Like, right off the bat, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it opens up in just the best way to, bring you into this brotherhood, in these great vibes. You think it's actually going to be just maybe even a little lighthearted, and then it's just nonstop chaos from that moment on. No kill streaks, no glorification, just fighting to survive. It's absolutely easily my standout of the year.
Yeah, I 100% agree with your choice here. I think I've told you, and if anybody looks at my Letterboxd list this year, it's my number one film of the year. It's my favorite movie of 2025, I think.
Yeah.
But it also is something that I didn't expect. It caught me off guard as well. So I think that's a really great choice. I support you, son. I support you.
Good.
Yeah,
as you should.
Warfare would have been my sleeper success of film as well. That's great. Okay. How about I talk about television?
Yeah, go for it.
For me, the sleeper success of television this year was Mobland. We touched on it earlier in terms of just having watched the season premiere, the show premiere, but I really enjoyed this. And what's more, we got some Guy Ritchie action that actually made sense as Guy Ritchie. He's worked a lot in 24 and 25, and it's been hit or miss. I kind of feel like 75% of what he's put out doesn't even feel like Guy Ritchie. Yeah. I don't know. It could have been anybody directed. I would have never guessed that it was Guy Ritchie except that I knew that. But Mobland doesn't disappoint. I'm not saying it's the best show of the year. There's no doubt. But considering the super hot and cold streak that Guy Ritchie's been on, I loved the show. I had a great time with it. It's got a fantastic cast. And Tom Hardy is legit at his best. He is so good in this. I highly recommend it, especially if you like gritty British crime shows or movies, and you like Guy Ritchie. This is great.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't finished the series yet. I've only seen a few episodes. I really want to finish. And
Yeah.
for me, Tom Hardy's he's a Hall of Famer. So I love that guy, and I love me some Guy Ritchie. So I do need to finish it up.
Yeah, I really recommend it, but for sure this is the one I didn't see coming, didn't expect to be as good as it was, and I'm glad that I stuck with it and got through the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of Guy Ritchie, I'm moving on to topic number 3, which is going to be the biggest bummer of 2025 has to be The Fountain of Youth.
Ooh, yeah.
Newest Guy Ritchie movie. He's not exactly putting out great movies lately, which is really a bummer for me. I love Guy Ritchie. I think The Gentleman was maybe his last really good movie. I love that movie. And that was actually one of the first movies I watched that made me go down the Guy Ritchie rabbit hole.
I'm still surprised when you said that. I can't believe that had never been on our father-son film school.
Yeah.
But
I
can't
mean,
believe I didn't
John
walk through Guy Ritchie movies.
Krasinski, Natalie Portman, a few others. I had high hopes. It did. I mean, I should have known when I didn't even see the trailer until like a week and a half before the movie came out. That should have been maybe a sign, but it was really just like you said. You'd have no idea it was Guy Ritchie if you didn't see his name on the movie, and it's a real bummer. Overall, completely lackluster, super forgettable. Like truly, I'm trying to even remember scenes from this movie, and I'm struggling as I'm actively talking about it, which is just major disappointment for me, and easily my biggest bummer of the year.
Yeah, I agree. It's great to see Natalie Portman back in a film, and it's been a little while since we've seen her in much. Always like her. Been a big fan of what Krasinski did with The Quiet Place, with Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Obviously The Office, but his the second half of his career here, this was a big fat goose egg.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Take us into 4.
All right, so the biggest bummer of 2025 for me on television has been Squid Game Season 3. Now, I'm going to put this as a caveat. I actually really liked Squid Game Season 3. I think for me, the real big bummer is that no one watched it. No one's, well, that's not necessarily true. It has been a highly rated or highly watched show on Netflix from what I've seen, but nobody's talking about it.
I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, and it's kind of somehow just skipped the collective conversation in total, whereas season 1 was all anybody could talk about or think about for 6 months. So I'm just super bummed because it concludes the television show. It seems to lead directly into this rumored David Fincher film, and I had a blast with it. I think it's really good. So for me, the big bummer, I'm kind of cheating the category a touch here maybe, but for me, the big bummer is I wanted to talk to people about Squid Game, and no one gave a rat's ass. And wasn't there. So yeah. I'm bummed. You didn't watch it, did you?
I didn't. So I was one of those, I guess. Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah. So I'm bummed about that because it's good. It's worth watching. So I would say catch up. I catch up on season 2, catch up on season 3, and it works out really. It comes together really well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try eventually.
Yeah.
maybe I'll do a quick binge before David Fincher's comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would 100% do that.
Yeah.
100%.
So that'll probably be my plan.
Yeah. And this kind of takes us into our next topic because I pseudo straddled this one, but most underrated. What do you think?
Yeah.
In terms of film, most underrated.
Yeah, for me, the most underrated movie of the year, 2025, is The Black Bag. Or maybe, just Black Bag is what it's called. Starring Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. Yes. I love me a good spy thriller. I love Michael Fassbender and I love Cate Blanchett. So for me, this was just the perfect concoction. I didn't hear too much about it until it was in theaters. And unfortunately, it's one of those movies where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters. I know because it's not that popular, it's going to be on streaming in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
So I waited. I watched it at home, and it's very, very sharp, very precise, very intellectual. Michael Fassbender giving yet another phenomenal performance. So I dug this a whole lot. And even some of the other actors who I don't know gave great performances as well in this, introduced me to some new people. So if you're looking for, I would even call it a little bit of a slow burn, but if you're looking for a little bit of a slow burn, tight, intellectual spy thriller, Black Bag from this year, definitely the move.
Yeah, it's an intellectual spy thriller, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. Soderbergh's movie releases have been odd. Like he's kind of turned into this like guerrilla filmmaker, not in so much as how he's shooting, but like where he just like suddenly out of nowhere has a new film, and he makes quality across the board. But I love this. I think I have it rated in like my top 3, top 4 of the year. Great choice, Braden.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, most underrated television show of 2025 is The Bear season 4. This is something similar. I mean, I think that a lot of people liked it, but I've also been hearing a lot of commentary around how it just wasn't as good as previous seasons. They've kind of lost their way a little bit. I couldn't disagree more. There's very few things on television that are just gonna like sort of bring me to tears, make me well up constantly. Whether it's the performances, the soundtrack, I'm blown away by the show. It continued to be my favorite thing to watch on television right now, consistently. Anyway, I did rank one. I think I ranked a show ahead of it, or 2 shows ahead of it. Oh, maybe I can't not to bury the lead there, but
spoilers.
But I think the show is amazing, and I love it. I think that they take a lot of risks. I think that it's fantastic, and I don't get what people are expecting out of it that they didn't get. I loved it, and I know you have not watched the show again, so this is not as much fun with me continuing to bring up things that you haven't watched yet. But I'm the resident TV guy, so I got to keep up. I feel like we need a segment that is what should Braden be watching. But if we did have that segment, The Bear would be on this list.
I mean, it's absolutely on my list. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of one of those situations where I'm kind of just working on my wife a little bit. Like, you want to watch this? And we always find something else. But eventually we're going to get to it. I don't want to watch it alone. I like to watch shows with her, movies I can do by myself. But the larger commitments.
All right, I'm going to sweeten the pot a little for you, though.
Okay.
The maker of The Bear, sneaky Weezer fan. He consistently sneaks deep Weezer cuts into the show, and
really?
I absolutely love it. Not just Weezer though, Radiohead, R.E.M., like Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder by himself as well. Like the music in the show is freaking phenomenal.
The pot is sweetened already.
That's right.
Already.
Right. All right, next topic.
Yeah,
we are going to talk about most overrated now. We talked about underrated. Let's talk about overrated, right?
Overrated.
It's a bit of a bummer, but what do you think in terms of movies this year, 2025? What's the most overrated?
Yeah, I'm going to cheat a little bit here again. Well, I guess you cheated beforehand. I haven't yet, but I'm going to cheat. The most overrated movie of 2025 is easily Jurassic World Rebirth. And here's why it's cheating. I actually don't know too many people who think that this movie is very good. Mm-hmm. But the box office says that people are showing up. And that's the thing about these dinosaur movies is, I mean, the last one was hot garbage and it made over $1 billion,
Yeah, Dominion was very successful financially.
And Rebirth is also extremely successful, which just means we're going to keep getting these movies. And it's really disappointing because I'm a huge Jurassic fan. And I think that they just need to take more time and find an actual compelling story to tell with where they've written themselves,
Yeah.
And that movie was just completely fine. It was just fine. There were so many issues with it, but overall, fine. But I mean, the numbers, money talks, they're going to keep making them, and they're probably just going to keep making them fine. And that's why I think it's absolutely overrated.
I would go back and see another Scarlett Johansson-led Jurassic World movie for sure. But you're right. This felt rushed. By all accounts, it was. They had a hole in their schedule. They realized they didn't have Universal realized they didn't have a summer blockbuster, and they needed that, and they fast-tracked this. And the flaws in fast-tracking show up. There's highs. There's things that I really like about it. The things that I really did not like about it. So I hear.
I mean, heck, they had Jurassic World come out, the first one, and then they announced a sequel, and we're like, okay, we're getting another one. Then they announced the end to that new trilogy. We're like, okay, so it's a trilogy, and in less than 2 years, I think a year and a half, another Jurassic movie is out. Mm-hmm. Like, they just wrapped up a trilogy, mind you, not well at all, and they're already starting probably a new one less than 2 years later. It's just kind of crazy. They need to let things breathe a little bit, I think.
Yep, I agree. All right, so most underrated show of 2025 from my most overrated show of 2025 from my perspective is The Studio. This, I think, received more Emmy nominations than any other show on television. It is getting an insane amount of buzz. I didn't dislike it. I just kind of thought it was fine. There are things about it that are pretty freaking cool if you haven't watched it yet. I mean, they go out of their way to do these insane oneers all over the place. Just 15, 20-minute scenes where the camera never cuts. It's very clear that they are paying homage to the player and other great oneer movies like Goodfellas and other things. But they're doing a fantastic job with that. But I don't know that any of the characters are necessarily likable. That's a problem for me. I don't get that. Like, even the main characters. I mean, Seth Rogen is charismatic, but the character that they've written for him is... He's kind of like early Michael Scott in many ways. It's just like, he's so cringy. He's such a mess. It's really difficult to root for him. So I don't really get what all the hype is. I think maybe Hollywood just really likes to lampoon itself. It's not bad at all. I enjoy it. I'm watching. I finished it, but I don't get the madness about how great this show supposedly is.
So maybe I won't check this one out.
I think you could skip it. I mean, honestly, I think you could. We'll see if season 2. I think it's been renewed for 2 more seasons.
Awesome.
But I think hopefully season 2 will be better. But yeah, I think The Studio is the most overrated show on television this year so far.
All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
Take us into topic number 9.
Okay, topic number 9. We have just come off of a really great few weeks where every week we had some really fantastic new movies, new TV shows.
Say that again.
Culminating most recently with Superman. And now we're a week away from Fantastic Four First Steps. After Fantastic Four First Steps, we have a huge, insane lull. We've got Abysmal August, we've got Sorry September, and we've got Oh No October.
At least compared to what's been coming out lately.
Absolutely. There is very little to get excited about on either television or film over the next 3 months. November, it really starts to pick up in a cool way. But over the next few months, there's not a lot. Like, let's think about August and August's release. Is there anything that you're excited about in August?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the list here of what's coming out. In terms of movies, there's one, and that's Nobody 2. I like the first
same.
Nobody. I actually just watched the very first Naked Gun a couple weeks ago. I thought that was really funny. So, I mean, I'll check out this new one when it's on streaming, but I'm not excited to go see it in a theater,
Yeah. Is it something you have to see?
No, not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Not at all. But I will say, August isn't horrible for TV shows, in my opinion. I mean, we have Wednesday, Alien Earth, and Peacemaker. Those are all 3 shows that I'm going to watch.
Yep.
So that's not too bad in terms of television.
Chief of War looks interesting. The Terminalist is a huge hit. I have not watched any of the Terminalist.
No.
But this is Chris Pratt, right?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah. So, but it has a big audience, from what I understand. So there are some people that are excited about this new season of The Terminalist. But I agree with you. I think television wins August with Wednesday, Alien Earth, and Peacemaker.
Easily.
And then, I mean, there's a few other things. I'm curious about Honey Don't. It's an Ethan Coen film. So far, I haven't been super impressed with Ethan by himself. Ethan and Joel together. I love the Coen brothers.
Who's in Honey Don't? Is that the one with Benedict?
Oh wait, no, I don't know if he's in it or not. I have to double check.
No, there's a random small movie coming out that has Benedict Cumberbatch in it coming out soon. I can't remember the name now, but that looked good to me.
Oh no, that's The Roses.
The Roses,
that you're thinking of, I think. Yeah. No, Honey Don't is got Margot Qualley and a handful of others. And she was also in Ethan Coen's last solo effort. We do have Caught Stealing. That's could be good. Darren Aronofsky. It's the one with Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler.
That was a good trailer.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's pretty bleak. Have you seen the trailer for Toxic Avenger?
Yeah, I did.
Starring Peter Dinklage.
Yes, I saw
the Toxic Avenger. Doesn't look good. September kind of gets worse. I got to be honest. I mean, there's
not kind
a
of
new season of Slow Horses. I really like Slow Horses a lot. So that's something I'm interested in. I'm on the fence about The Long Walk. I am pretty close to giving you Spinal Tap at some point, one episode here to watch as a homework assignment, because we do have Spinal Tap 2 coming out in September, but again, I don't know that that's necessarily event worthy. Anything on your list?
I'll see The Long Walk maybe on a half half price day, and that's it. I big fan of The Walking Dead, but I fell off within the last few seasons of the show. Haven't watched any of the spinoffs, so I'm not particularly
I've watched
excited.
none of the spinoffs either. Yeah, not one of them. Not one of them. I mean, the Negan one looks interesting, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, that one looked interesting. But yeah, don't really care too much about anything really other than potentially The Long Walk. And then even October, I mean, just some of the movies in October. I mean, I guess Tron, which might look cool visually, but I'm not dying to see this movie at all. And
yeah,
that's really it.
I mean, there's a few more like prestige
Hunt.
dramas. After the Hunt, Begonia. I'm kind of curious about the Springsteen movie with Jeremy Allen White, From the Bear. But I have no interest, honestly, in the Smashing Machine. I got to tell you, I don't know.
No.
And that's kind of it. That's kind of the entire month of October. There's nothing going on.
I will see the Smashing Machine probably. I'm in the minority of somebody who wants to see a good performance from The Rock, hopefully. So I'm intrigued.
You feel like this is his Rocky?
I mean, no, but
well,
but I think he's gonna. I bet it's one of the best performances of his life. Yeah. But is it gonna be a phenomenal performance? Period.
Here's hoping.
Not.
Here's hoping. Well, we're in a slump, which takes us into topic number 10. What are you excited about for the rest of the year? You know, I mean, there are some really good things coming in November and December.
There are.
Not a lot for the next 3 months, but from a film perspective, Braden, what is your most highly anticipated moment of 2025 yet to come?
I'll hit a few honorable mentions real quick because there's at least 2 off the top of my head that I'm excited about. One of them being Wicked for Good. I loved Wicked Part 1. So I'm looking forward to Wicked for Good, even though I stand on the side of the second act of Wicked being weaker than the first. So I don't think I like it as much, but I am still looking forward to the story finishing up. And I'm also looking forward to Avatar Fire and Ash coming out in December. I kind of forgot that was coming out this year, to be so honest with you. So when I was looking at the list of stuff, I was surprised. And I think that Way of Water was an improvement over the first Avatar. And so I'm hoping to see even further improvement, hopefully. We will see. I'm not super sure. But I will say my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year is going to be the third Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man. That comes out in December on Netflix, probably also in some theaters. I'm a huge fan of these movies by Rian Johnson. I think they're just wonderful, and it's got another killer cast, and I don't even need to see a trailer. I'm going to go see this. I'm very excited about it.
You haven't seen the trailer?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, it's worth watching. It's a good teaser. It doesn't spoil anything. I would highly recommend it. There's nothing at all. It really kind of just sets up the tone. So I would highly recommend it. I just rewatched that trailer yesterday. Okay. It's good. And, you basically only hear Benoit's voice kind of doing a little bit of a donut hole line delivery, where he's kind of like talking about what's going on. And then they kind of just like, jump around to showing you the insanely star-studded cast. They keep upping the game as far as who's the quality of people that are in these. I'm excited about it too. I think it's great. You really
talked me into rewatching them again for the 5th time now. So
yeah, no doubt. I'm really hoping Netflix gives this more than 1 week in theaters, like we got in Glass Onion, because I would rather see this in a theater.
Absolutely.
But if we don't, I will for sure watch it on the set.
Absolutely.
How
about you?
Okay. Most anticipated for me, I guess I should probably do some honorables as well, since you mentioned it. I am really looking forward to the 2 that we mentioned earlier in the first half of our lull here for August. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to Alien Earth and another season of Slow Horses. So we've kind of already touched on the shows that I'm most looking forward to. But the number one most anticipated for me is going to be Stranger Things season 5 and the conclusion of that.
It has to be.
It's just no brainer. I'm super pumped about this. I'm gonna be setting an alarm for the moment that it's released and watching it immediately. At least episode 1. I want to. I'm pumped about this. I don't think there's any way that Stranger Things doesn't win win the belt for television shows in the fall.
Yeah.
And so, that's my number one. And there are some other things worth watching, but I think it's not a close second.
No,
it's a distant second. Everything's
if
a
it
distant
wasn't
second,
your number
distant
one,
third.
I'd be concerned, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal. Like you said, they're all coming out on holidays. You better believe whatever family I'm with, I'm going to be in the other room watching Stranger Things first, and then family time after.
Fair enough.
Sorry about it. Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, I think so. I think we have some good stuff coming later in the year. So
Definitely November, December territory.
Yeah. And that is our 10 and 20. We got through it in 22 minutes, not too shabby. And looked back at the year to date, and also just one little look forward. Should we get into our main topic?
Absolutely, we should.
All right. For our main topic today, we're going to continue with this theme of the year to date in review. What's our favorite things of the year? Braden's going to run through his top 5 movies of the year. I'm going to run through my top 5 TV shows of the year. We'll interject commentary as we go. But Braden, how do you want to do this? You want to go one by one, or you want to do your whole list and then my whole list? You have a preference?
Yeah, let's go. I'll do my whole list. And I'll say my whole list, and then I'll go ahead and touch on each of them a little more in depth. How about that?
All right, sounds good. So we're going to get your top 5 films year to date so far through July 2025.
Exactly. My top 5 films of the year so far, ranking from 5 up to 1, is going to be 5. We have F1, phenomenal movie, loved it, great, action-packed, sports thriller. 4th, I'm going to have Thunderbolts, big surprise of the year, Marvel's back with a nice emotional story. Number 3, I have Superman. This movie made me feel like a kid in all the best ways. David Corenswet was amazing. James Gunn really brought the comics to life, as he always does. Number 2, my biggest surprise of the year, Warfare. I already touched on it earlier. Phenomenal war movie. And my number 1, to nobody's surprise, probably has to be Sinners. I thought this movie was just phenomenal. In a lot of ways, it was transcendent, and it had one of my favorite scenes in the last 10 years, period. Phenomenal top 5. No perfect movies, though, I might add. None of these I have
no
ranked.
5 stars yet.
No 5 stars yet for the whole year, I should add. Maybe what you can do real quick is you can go through your list similar to how I did, and then we'll go a little more in depth on each of our lists. How about that?
You want me to go through my TV list? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So my top 5 television shows of the year are all subsequent seasons, follow-up seasons across the board. I've got 4 season 2s and the season 4 in my list. So let's start here. In the number 5 slot, I have The Last of Us season 2. In the number 4 slot, I have Shrinking season 2. This is an Apple Plus show. This is one of the dramas / comedies or dramedies on my list. I'm gonna try and talk you into watching this show. It is consistently one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. But it did not quite hit the highs for me of number 3, The Bear season 4, which I already mentioned in terms of my underrated list. And then in the number 2 slot, Severance season 2, another Apple show. I really think Apple is kind of one of the sleeper winners of the first half of the year. They've had some really phenomenal stuff, whether it was F1, Severance, Shrinking, a handful of other things. They've been on a hot streak. Friends and Neighbors, some other things too. So, and then my number 1 show of 2025 should not come as a surprise to you, my young Padawan, but it is Andor season 2. I thought was just absolutely insane. Definitely my favorite, my favorite show of the year.
Yeah, about transcendent.
Absolutely. That was great. So, now that we got those lists out, why don't we kind of go one by one and see what you think? And by the way, I guess I want to be clear before we do that. Sorry, there are a handful of shows that are getting some fantastic buzz, really great reviews that I haven't seen. I think so. Somebody just hearing my list is going to say something like, "Where's Adolescence?" It's likely the best reviewed show, maybe even the highest rated show of the year so far.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I got to be honest. I just haven't. The subject matter is one of those where I feel like I have to really get myself mentally prepared for it. So I've skipped it. I'm hearing great things about The Residents. I can't wait to watch that. Department Q, North and North, Paradise. Too Much just came out and is getting insane buzz. I'm really looking forward to that. And then I want to watch Smoke as well. Those are some of the shows that that aren't on my list because I haven't watched them. I don't know if they would have made the top 5, but I haven't even seen them, so they're not ranked for that reason.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll touch on that as well. For anybody listening, you can see both of our full 2025 lists in terms of movies on Letterboxd. It's linked in our bio, description, all those different places. We have that in a little link tree kind of a thing. But I'm not really sure that there's anything from this year that I haven't seen that has a shot of breaking into this top 5. I'm looking at what's come out. I even watched like 4 movies in the last 2 days from 2025. None of them cracked the top 5 or even the top 10, to be honest.
Okay.
And those were some of the better rated movies. The rest are all kind of lower rated. So I think this is
wait. Give us a couple examples. Give us a couple examples. What's a highly rated movie that you just watched that did not crack your top 10?
It might have cracked my top 10, not 5 for sure though. The Phoenician Scheme. Just finished that actually today. I did enjoy it quite a bit, but unfortunately not nearly as much as any of these.
Okay. So maybe top 10, but not top 5.
Maybe top 10. I'd have to look. I haven't had a chance to rank it yet. Also watched Dangerous Animals. It's kind of a Jai Courtney serial killer obsessed with shark movie that was getting a lot of good reviews for the category it's in. Obviously, I enjoyed that movie actually quite a bit, but again, it's not quite the quality of these other 5 movies. And now there's one more as well that I can't even think of. Last Breath. Last Breath came out earlier in the year, starring Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and I'm forgetting the third actor. But that also was reviewed very well. When it came out, mind you, it was like the first 2 months of the year. People were saying best movie of the year, so I had at least hopes for to enjoy it. And honestly, I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was pretty cheesy, very strangely paced, 1 or 2 pretty bizarre performances. So, I mean,
I'm glad you confirmed that for me because that was the vibe I got, honestly, from the trailers. I'm not going to like this movie. It's going to be cheap and cheesy.
Yeah. Speaking of that movie, you're going to get the better version of it for homework later today. I'll touch on that a little bit later. But yeah, so I think this is pretty definitively my top 5 for the year so far. I'll touch on F1.
Which ones you want to break down? Yeah, okay, F1.
We'll go 5 and up, and I'll just touch on it quickly because actually almost all of these movies we've dived kind of deep into already on other episodes. F1, I love Brad Pitt. Not a fan of F1 at all, the actual sport. Don't care about racing in any form, and this made me care. I thought that was its biggest achievement, being able to make me care about something that I had zero interest in at all. Brad Pitt, I mean, not a performance to write home about, but he's Brad Pitt. He's not sucking it up or anything like that. And
honestly, I think it's one of his most boring performances I think ever. To be perfectly frank, I liked the movie. It was not my top 5.
I mean, the truth is it could have been anybody. There could have been a number of other people. It really could have been in that role.
He's a fantastic movie star. There's no way to watch him. He could just stand on screen and not speak, and it'd probably be a pretty good movie. But as Brad Pitt performances go, this was pretty lackluster, honestly.
Yeah. But overall,
there's no character arc is really what it comes down to, right? Sonny doesn't change from start to finish of the movie. And so he has. I just don't think he has a lot to go with. I think the movie's about the cars. It's not about the characters, and that's my big gripe about the movie.
No, he absolutely does have a character arc. I think you're off on that.
How is he different at the end of the movie than he was at the start of the movie?
I mean, this dude falls in love. That's one thing. He's able to like rein it in a little bit. He
falls in love so deeply that he leaves her at the end of the movie.
Listen,
to go be by himself again.
They're meeting back up. Don't worry. It's a story about the new generation learning from the old and the old learning from the new. That's what it is. They both grow closer to each other.
I think that the kid, the character, I'm forgetting his name, but I think he has a character arc. He learns, he grows. I don't know where Sonny grows. So, listen, I enjoyed the film. I think it's good. Like I said, I gave it at least 3.5 stars. I don't know, 3 stars probably. I need to see it again.
Oh, me too.
Super innovative in terms of cinematography. But I did not have the same response that everyone else had. I did not walk away from this feeling like I know about NASCAR, or not NASCAR. I know about F1 racing now, and I really need to get into it.
There's also
I
almost...
I had fun, but that's it.
Yeah. There's almost no chance it's as good on rewatch. Also, I mean, we saw this in a theater, and this movie's made for a theater,
Absolutely.
It's not going to be as good at home unless it's like one of those situations where you know it's coming, so you can kind of sit back and enjoy a little more. But in terms of actual experience, there's no way it's going to be beat at home.
That's a great point, though, in terms of sort of the rewatchability of it. I think it's a fantastic movie that you could easily have on in the background while you're doing something else and just like stop from time to time and look and go, ooh, wow.
It's absolutely
so cool.
true.
Or
it is
I
one
like
of
the
those.
scene coming up, but you definitely don't have to sit down and pay a lot of attention to it.
That's
an
excellent
which is
take.
the bummer.
Excellent take.
All right, what's your number 4? Or we said your number 4 was Thunderbolts. Give us a little heads up on that.
Yeah, Thunderbolts again. This finally broke the pattern of us saying, it's actually it didn't break the pattern, but there's been this pattern of Marvel's back, Marvel's dead, Marvel's back, Marvel's dead, Marvel's back, Marvel's dead,
Yeah.
And this happened to fall on the Marvel's backside. Well, backside, oops.
Close enough.
This movie was good. It had really great performances. And yet
Feige is out there apologizing and justifying the poor performance at the box office. Poor performance relative to a Marvel tentpole.
Yeah,
movie,
I
right?
mean, as in that it didn't make anywhere near $1 billion, but it was one of the highest reviewed Marvel movies in the last decade. It had really great and at times subtle performances. It decided to tell a really personal story about grief and depression, which I really appreciated. And it had it found a really nice balance between humor and a serious tone that a lot of Marvel movies try to find and sometimes fail. So I think overall, very great Marvel movie. And I'm thinking that Fantastic Four is about to break the trend of a good one and a bad one, because it's looking pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, the early read on it's good, but I agree. I really liked Thunderbolts a lot. I thought that it was a great film. I don't really know why people didn't show up the way that they have in the past. I wish that word of mouth had driven, sort of a second life with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. You have it ranked 4. I have it ranked 5 for the year so far. So
for the year.
We're right in line there.
Close.
Yeah. And I like it.
And I should mention, in terms of our earlier ranking of like most anticipated and stuff like that, I didn't mention Fantastic Four because I'm seeing it tomorrow at time of recording. I wanted to look a little further in the future. I am very excited for Fantastic Four. Grew up watching that cartoon, played some of the video games. It's one of the very first movies I actually have memory of seeing in theaters. And so I'm excited for this, but I wanted to look a little further for the actual topic, but I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's a good summer.
I'll go see it tomorrow night as well.
Movies. Yeah, perfect. So then we'll touch on my 3.
Okay, let's go to 3.
Superman. It was amazing. It was super. We talked last week about everything we loved about this movie, everything you didn't like. You're getting a little hate online right now for some comments made about crypto.
Yeah, I know.
But
I got to get a free crypto shirt,
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely. Next episode, you better be wearing a crypto shirt.
Part of the problem was that on air, you accused me of hating dogs. You looked at the camera and you said, everybody listen, he hates dogs.
It's the only logical explanation for not liking crypto.
Not cool. Not cool. I do not hate dogs. I love dogs.
Oh, man. No, Superman.
So, I don't want to belabor the crypto point. I get that everybody loves him. All that. But it's and by the way, it seems like we're going to get Crypto Part 2 in not that long.
Let's go. I'm here.
Have you read the? Have you read the
it.
synopsis of Supergirl?
Nope, I'm not gonna.
I mean, Crypto's name is in there like 3 times.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's like a girl and her dog do this. When the dog does this, then
but listen,
the dog does this.
At the end of the day, Superman, James Gunn was able to bring a vibrancy and a comic book feel back to comic book movies. It launched a new universe, and I think it did all of that really well, really refreshing. I'm glad we are moving away from the dark, gritty aesthetic that was kind of super prominent in the 2010s, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure...
Even though you're a Snyder apologist?
I am. No, and there's a time for everything, you know? And what I was about to say is I'm pretty sure in 6 more years I'm going to be like, okay, I would like some grittier, grayer comic book movies, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's a pendulum swing.
Are you hoping the Batman Part 2 is bright and shiny and sunny?
Absolutely not. And mind you, I'll touch on this real quick, even though it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I will be so incredibly disappointed if this Batman ends up being the Batman of this new DC universe. I just am praying
I don't think he fits. Yeah.
that they keep this separate because it just doesn't work. He works in his world, in his Gotham that Matt Reeves created. He does not work in the same world as this Superman. Please, 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 please. I do not want to see these two on screen together.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because Gunn has been really clear that every movie is going to have its own tone. Every movie will be its own thing. I mean, we're talking about Clayface coming up as being Gunn has said it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And he's also been very clear that Supergirl is going to have a totally different tone than Superman. So my question is, even though you're right, like I don't think that Matt Reeves Batman fits in James Gunn's Superman world or larger sort of James Gunn's Justice League world.
Yeah.
But it also, I'm curious how he balances that with this idea that the tone is going to shift so dramatically from film to film.
Yeah, just don't do it, please. I don't mind having 2 active Batmans at the same time. People are going to be able to get over it. You know, just don't bring them into this universe just for the sake of it not being a little more confusing. Just keep them separate. That's all I'm going to say. My number 2.
All right. Number 2.
And I touched on it earlier, Warfare. Phenomenal movie. There's not much more to be said about it if I'm being super honest. Just go watch it.
I want to call something out. I want to call something out. Sound and sound editing in this film are incredible. And it's something that I pay attention to. I don't know how many other people pay attention to this. The film starts with this really loud and like almost musically obnoxious sequence where all of the soldiers are sitting at the base and they're having a great time watching what amounts to like a YouTube video or something.
Were you not having a great time with them? I'm just in there bobbing my head along with them.
But listen, that is the only piece of music in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It just drops like they go from that party scene and then he uses it to juxtapose sound and silence. The only sound we get for the rest of the film is the sound of war, the sound of screams, the sound of shouting, the sound of silence. He uses silence so beautifully in this movie. I was blown away by what Ari Aster brought to this or gave us in this. But to me, the biggest success was how he used sound.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. I mean, the fact that we're even thinking that while sitting there says something, right?
Yeah.
Even just when someone gets their legs blown off and then they can't hear anything for the rest of the movie. Whenever we're from their POV, it's just dead silent and you're just watching everything unfold in basically what has become a silent film. It's incredible. Truly. Honestly, and then when it cuts back to sound, it's gut-wrenching and jarring, you know? Similar
it's a super bold choice.
Yeah. Similar to the movie that came out last year, Civil War, where every gunshot was like, oh my God, like it's almost painful in your ears, right? You know?
Yeah.
It's a very good job at making all of that land.
Yeah, but see what he did in Civil War though is he had some needle drops, right? He kind of went back and forth and he included that. I think it takes an incredible amount of discipline, and it was obviously a specific choice, not by accident, but to not have that moment where, you know, the Humvees are rolling in and he's got like some Jimi Hendrix song,
right?
You know, that needle drops or something. No, nothing. Like
nothing.
He completely eliminated it. I absolutely thought that was a brilliant and ballsy choice, but it totally works out.
Yeah, my number one movie of the year so far is Sinners. What can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? This movie has been talked about every single person with an opinion, and it was phenomenal. Truly, truly amazing movie the scene where they're in the club, you know, and they're just playing the music, and then you start to see the different generations and cultures. Just truly phenomenal stuff. Creepy, but also like charismatic vampires in a way that we haven't. It's not a super common take on vampires, and I appreciated it. Michael B. Jordan gave one of those performances. You know, there's those performances where an actor is playing two characters, and it either sticks out like a sore thumb, or you forget and you think it's two different characters, right? Two different actors, and absolutely, there was not a single point in this movie where I'm sitting there thinking, okay, how did they do this shot? Like, you know, I'm just fully buying into there being two different actors standing there on screen that happen to look exactly the same. It's a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. That's all I have to say.
In contrast to what you are anticipating about F1 not having a great deal of rewatchability from a certain perspective, I've rewatched Sinners already once. It went up a full star for me in doing so. It definitely, I think, it benefits from consistent rewatch. I know everybody obviously loves it. It's the number one film on a lot of people's lists. But here's an interesting question. How many movies do you think on Letterboxd right now that were released in 25 have a higher rating, overall average rating than Sinners?
From 2025?
If you had to guess. Yeah, movies released in 25, compare, like, where does Sinners rank in Letterboxd rating, average rating for...
And I'm guessing you have
viewers.
the answer?
Well, it'd make for some bad content if I didn't.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I
mean,
do. I have the answer.
I would hope 0 or 1. Like,
okay, that's a really good guess, except it's totally wrong. I was surprised to see that there are 20 films that have higher Letterboxd ratings than Sinners. Now, to put this into context, all 20 of them are foreign release films, not English language films. But it was really interesting to me to I guess, realize the global scope of Letterboxd and just how passionate people are about all these other films, most of which I have never heard of. Yeah. And they all have higher rate. They've been released in the last 7 months, and they have higher ratings than Sinners. So, I don't know, just put things in context. But I feel like we ought to mine one or two of them and really see, you know,
maybe
if it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, great list. Great list of films.
It is. I have to
is there anything you want to add before we move on to the television shows?
No, I don't think so. I'm excited to hear you break it down.
All right. So my number 5 is The Last of Us Season 2. We spent a lot of time over the weeks that the show was coming out covering the various episodes. We kind of went episode by episode of the show. I replayed the game concurrent to the show being released, the episodes being released. And this is another show that got a little bit of like sophomore slump action. People weren't as impressed with it as they'd been with season 1. But I still think, for me, it's a top 5 show based on what I've seen and what I haven't seen. And I had a great time with it. I really still enjoyed it. I think that, as we mentioned, Joel's absence weighs really heavily on the second season.
Yeah.
And they are approaching seasons 2 and 3. They're approaching the story of the game that was within part 2 totally differently. But, not totally differently, but
pretty differently.
In terms of how they're breaking up the two heroines of season 2, or you may call them two different protagonists as well, or antagonists. But I still really enjoyed the show. I thought it was great, and it's going to be my number 5 for the year so far.
Yeah, I mean,
anything you want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. While I was able to find enjoyment in the show, I think The Last of Us Season 2 was just overall extremely disappointing. I think the first season stands on its own as just far, far better. And like you said, Joel's absence in this season, you feel it. And it's not their fault for that. You know, that's how it's written. And it just kind of sucks. I mean, he really was carrying this show, in my opinion. And I think overall, there was just way too much, in my opinion, lazy writing and plot armor. And it was just overall, it felt like a different show, minus maybe just a few episodes. And so this was more of a disappointment for anything for me. And I would have actually probably had it in my biggest bummer section if I was doing television.
That's fair. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I was bouncing back and forth on what was going to fall into my number 5 slot, but it's there. In my number 4 slot is a show that I know you have not watched, and you should. Shrinking on Apple is absolutely one of my favorite shows. Season 1 was maybe my favorite show of that year. I think it's amazing. You, as a parent especially, it's great. But I think also just as a a son or daughter, like thinking about your relationship with your parents, thinking about how you collectively cope with trauma in different ways across generations. It's really interesting. I think it's anchored by an amazing Harrison Ford performance. We haven't had an amazing Harrison Ford performance in decades, and he's so good and funny in Shrinking. Not to mention the rest of the cast. It's got a phenomenal cast, so across the board. But I really think that Shrinking is something you should pick up. I think season 2 was super solid. It was as good as season 1. I enjoyed it a lot.
All right.
Number 3 for me, I will really not cover much here because we've already talked about it in earlier parts of the show. But The Bear season 4, I really enjoyed a lot, and you need to get into that. So let me jump into my number 2 because I don't think we've talked about it on the pod at all. Severance season 2 is just absolutely. By the way, another Apple show. Apple is becoming for me really similar to HBO in terms of just knowing that if they're going to if they put out a show, I'm signing up for it. I know it's going to be solid.
And mind you,
it's going to be really good.
I recommended this one to you.
You did. You originally recommended Severance. I was behind on that. Have you kept up though? Have you watched season 2?
Yes, I have a little bit of a strange experience with season 2 where I watched an episode thinking it was the season finale. I don't know why. And I was like, well, that was kind of a crappy season finale. And then next week, the actual season finale came out. And I just keep saying, I need to watch that. And I keep forgetting. So I need to actually finish the season.
You're literally one episode away from finishing the season?
And I have been since it came out.
Oh, man. The season finale is so good. So good.
Yeah, I need to get on it. I really do.
Yeah. It's super unique. It's not like anything else that's on television at all. It's so smart, it's so well written, so well directed, so well acted. And to be able to get what essentially amounts to, like modern science fiction. It's like science fiction without spaceships and aliens, and it's just, but it involves science and how technology impacts our world in a similar way to like something like a Black Mirror does, but this has just a longer overall narrative arc across these characters, and I'm fully invested, and I think it's one of the best shows on television. So I'm glad that you got me on season 1. I was late there, but you need to catch up on season 2.
I really do. I really do. Let's quickly yet passionately touch on your number 1.
So number 1 for me, no surprise, Andor season 2.
Andor.
It's so great to have Star Wars content that just truly inspires me and gets me excited again. I loved the show. I loved everything about it. I think it was criminally underappreciated at the Emmys. I really hope that it gets a little bit more like Golden Globe love or something. No acting nominations for any of the key principals makes no sense to me.
Insane.
Stellan Skarsgård, Diego Luna, none of them got acting nominations. The show did get a lot of nominations, but it was all for direction and writing and lighting and special effects.
It
and all
deserves
this kind of stuff,
all
which is
the
great.
nominations.
But it did get best show. It's nominated for best drama, but it's way better, especially the acting. I'm really blown away by the quality of acting that we get in this show. It happens to be Star Wars, and that's one of the things that I love about it. It is a great show. Take the script, take it out of Star Wars, and just adapt it to a different world, and it is every bit as good. It doesn't require
Well,
the world to do its to hold it up. It doesn't require it doesn't require George Lucas's original content to really keep it standing. It
no,
stands
it doesn't
alone.
need the Star Wars name at all.
It stands on its own.
And that's such a great point, because I'll even add to it. Take it out of the world of Star Wars, and it would get a lot more attention in terms of awards, which is infuriating to me. You know, because that's
a really
good.
great point. Yeah,
if it wasn't Star Wars, it probably would have won quite a few things.
Yeah, got knocked down because people don't from an awards perspective, people don't respect Star Wars
or sci-fi, really. You know,
generally, yeah. It's rare
which is
that something like that happens. Yeah,
but yeah, I love that show with all my heart.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
All right, well, there you go. There's my top 5. Like I said, I really do hope to see Adolescence and The Residence, Department Q. A couple of these other shows look really good. Too Much. Well, as soon as I jump in on those, I will report back in the pod if any of them seem like they're worth us talking about.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great list. Great main topic. All we have left is homework.
We do. We have a little bit of homework. Did you do your homework this week, son?
I did my homework this week. Did you?
I did. I was a good example. I did my homework.
Good job. I'll talk about mine first.
Okay, let's do it. I gave you The Fabelmans by Steven Spielberg. What did you think?
The Fabelmans was just completely charming. Right off the bat, I'll tell you, I gave it a 3.5 stars.
Okay.
There's much better Steven Spielberg, and there's not much worse. But this was a phenomenal.
Not much worse. You think this was one of his worst films?
As in the sense that he doesn't really make bad movies, you know.
I see.
So I guess I worded that kind of strange, but this was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It kind of, in a way, reflected my excitement for movies and stuff like that, and that was really fun to watch. And overall, there were some great performances as well for some young actors who I'd never seen, and it was just fun. It was in a lot of ways kind of a feel-good movie, but what's strange is there's a lot that doesn't feel very great in this movie, but I would almost consider it a feel-good movie just because of the escapism into movies and art, and I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is not an original thought, so I'm reiterating things that I've heard on some other podcasts and things like that just resonated with me about this film. You know, I mean, the themes that you see in The Fabelmans around his relationship with his father and his very different relationship with his mother, I think they show up throughout Steven Spielberg's films constantly. But the question has always been like, what's he really trying to say here? What's he really trying to say here? I think with The Fabelmans, he really kind of like lets you in on something that he's kind of been hinting at for his whole career. I mean, the relationship with his father, his relationship with his father, and his relationship with his mother have infiltrated everything he's ever done. And this is the first time we really kind of see this in this semi-autobiographical way. And you're right, there are times when it just hurts to watch. You know,
well, that's even a great point. Like, this might even be a little on the nose, but just think of the relationship between Indiana Jones and his father. You know, where it's 100%. Very much he has a passion and his father doesn't respect it. You know, he doesn't see it as logical or practical, and he's kind of always belittling it until the end, when he finally has the moment where he fully embraces his son and has him go for it. You know. That's exactly the same arc from this movie. Yep.
Elliot and his mother in E.T. I mean, there's so much that is going on here. I mean, but the themes of divorce, the themes of abandonment, the themes of betrayal, but the themes of someone you love and respect falling off that pedestal and you having to help them get back up on it.
Yeah.
Maybe more for you than for them. I think these are themes that are universal within Spielberg's work, within his movies that he's given us in the past.
Yeah, so, good recommendation.
I'm glad you liked it. Yes, it does remind you how much you love movies watching it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
My homework assignment for you, and I'm ready to have my heart broken because you're just a hater, was The Count of Monte Cristo. And I'm going to preface this right now.
Yeah.
I only watched this movie about a week ago for the first time. It was recommended to me by my in-laws. They told me, if you haven't seen this movie, you have to watch this movie. I watched it. I thought it was really good. And so I'm sure naturally you watched it and thought it was just okay. Let's hear it.
I liked it a lot. I have a different relationship with it though, because you have not read the book, right?
No.
Yeah. So I've read the book, and
So I had no idea where anything was going.
Right, absolutely. So I read the book. I've read the book a couple times, actually. I've gone back to it. It is one of my favorite books of all time. And I think it is one of the most compelling and most beautifully written stories ever. It's amazing to me that so many of these kind of fall into that like same time period, whether it's The Count of Monte Cristo from Alexandre Dumas or Les Miserables from Victor Hugo. But these stories are so resonant. It's an amazing book. I thought it was a good movie. I had a lot of fun with it, and were it not for the times I kept kind of like pseudo cringing whenever they made a really, in some cases, fairly dramatic plot change. Were it not for those things, I would have really said that this was something that I liked even more. I thought the performances were very good. I thought that the tension was great. I thought that the cinematography was good. I had fun. I think, they found a way to insert humor into what is otherwise, a pretty dark story.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting, having not read the book, they made this less dark than the book. The book is darker. Edmond's revenge schemes are much more elaborate and much more psychologically damaging. And it's not kind of just one. Like I feel like in this particular 2002 adaptation, it's like he has like 1.5 villains and not 3. And in the book, they're 3 very distinct. They each have an equal share of ownership. They each have an equal share of his hatred and his revenge. And so that's one disappointment that I had, is that I didn't want so much of the story focused on his revenge against Ferdinand, but against all of the characters. The other thing I would say is that it felt like the filmmakers really wanted to have their cake and eat it too, in the sense that he feels a certain level of righteous indignation in terms of his revenge plot and why his life's been taken from him. Mm-hmm. His wife, his career, his father, everything has been taken from him. But they still want to be able to say at the end that he could stop and say, okay, no, I'm sorry, God. I'm going to be a good person now. And
which is my biggest issue with the movie, in fairness.
The book has none of that. Dantes has zero hesitation about why he's doing what he's doing and what he's doing it. And what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's much more brutal, and yet it doesn't hurt the story. So I was a little bummed, because it felt like they felt like they had to water it down or people wouldn't get it. All that being said, there were some other pretty big plot point changes, which I don't want to spoil for you if you ever do decide to read the book.
Well, if you have it on Audible, I'll start listening to it pretty soon.
I may not. I don't know. That's a good question. I think I just have, a physical copy of the book.
I don't know how to read.
But anyway, I thought it was a good recommendation. I had a lot of fun with it. Did you know that there's another Count of Monte Cristo coming out this year?
I did, which was funny. As I'm looking for this movie, I keep getting the 2025 version. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. But real quick, let's touch on, that was just a wonderful performance from Richard Harris, right? I loved that performance.
Yeah. I mean, Harris is great. I mean, I had you watch a movie that included Richard Harris last week, right? And he's just so good in everything he ever did. He was just always good. No, it wasn't Richard Harris, was it? I'm getting that confused.
No, you are getting it confused.
Now I'm annoyed at myself. Anyway, so yes, Richard Harris is fantastic.
All right. You ready for your assignment this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Your assignment this week is a movie called Underwater. And I'm not going to give you much. You know who's in it already. It's Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
You probably saw the trailer. I went into this movie pretty blind. I watched it 3 or 4 years after I saw the trailer for it, having never revisited, but just saw that it had pretty good reviews. And I think that's a good way to go into it. So that's my recommendation for you. Watch it in your bed at night. Like, set the vibe, Like, you don't want any glares on the TV. Don't put this on while you're cooking,
Yeah, okay.
Pay attention.
This sounds good. I'm excited. I think this is a good choice. I love me some underwater movies. So from a setting perspective, seems like it's going to be right up my alley. I'm also more up on Kristen Stewart than most people, so I think this is a good choice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm glad to hear that you like it and you made a good choice. So, are you ready for your homework, son?
Oh, I am.
Okay. You gave me sort of a swashbuckling adventure film last week based on a classic novel. I'm going to return the favor, and I'm going to give you The Last of the Mohicans, directed by Michael Mann and starring I'm going blank. Why am I going blank on his name? Daniel Day-Lewis. That was terrible. I'm starring Daniel Day-Lewis. I really want you to edit that
I know
out
this movie better than you.
Jeez. So directed by Michael Mann and starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Madeline Stowe, and others. Wes Studi. Man, I don't want to say too much. I don't know if you. This is another movie, by the way, that's had multiple versions made over the years. It's that classic of a story, that classic of a novel. But this is, I think, the best of those versions. There hasn't been one since. Nobody's tried to come back and do it after Michael Mann did. So you've got an adventure in the American West, Western states there, or and taking place sort of during the French-American War. And I hope you dig it, but it's one of my favorites.
I know it's one of your favorites. So
it's a star-making performance for Daniel Day-Lewis. Although he was probably already nominated for a few Academy Awards. He collects Academy Award nominations I don't know, like
something you collect,
whiskey bottles. But this also really stands out in his career. No other performance like it. He doesn't do adventure. He doesn't do action.
No, I know that.
And so this is really different and unique. So I hope you really like it.
I will. I'm sure I will. It's one of your favorites. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
It does not suck. It does not
awesome.
suck. Okay. Yeah, well, we're at that point where we can definitively say that we ranked and we debated. We disagreed, though not on who shot first, because we know that. We know what happened there. And it's just all another day in the galaxy.
So, whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Until the next episode, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast, but winter is also coming. So, may the Force live long and prosper within you.
This is the way.
And we can do this all day.
Boom.
All right, thanks, son. Love ya. Let's talk again soon.